At its height, Rome minted a silver coin so trusted it united 1 million people across 3 continents. Yet centuries later, that same currency became nearly worthless overnight. The official story blames barbarians, but beneath the ruins lies a hidden crisis: runaway inflation, triggered by decisions no empire ever wants to make. How did invincible Rome unravel? And could the same forces threaten us again? The denarius began as a promise cast in silver, each coin nearly pure, weighing just over 4 grams, stamped with the authority of Rome. Traders from Hispania to Egypt recognized its value, accepting it without hesitation. Ships carried these coins across the Mediterranean, fueling markets and linking distant provinces. The denarius was more than money, it was a foundation for trust. With a single standard, tax collectors could demand payment in a currency everyone recognized, and merchants could price goods with confidence. This simple piece of silver turned an empire of villages into a unified economy, setting the stage for centuries of prosperity. Across the Italian countryside, sprawling estates known as latifundia dominated the landscape. These were not family farms, but industrial-scale operations powered by the labor of millions of enslaved people captured during Rome's wars. Archaeological digs at sites such as Villa Magna reveal vast storage facilities and slave quarters, evidence of a system built for relentless production. Wheat, wine, and olive oil were grown in monoculture, destined for the tables of Rome's elite and the city's swelling population. The profits from these estates flowed upward, concentrating land and wealth in the hands of a tiny aristocratic class, while the majority remained landless and dependent. Every month, nearly 200,000 Roman citizens queued for their share of the state's grain, a lifeline delivered through the vast bureaucracy of the Annona. Grain ships from Egypt and North Africa docked at Ostia, Rome's bustling port, where teams of officials and laborers unloaded, measured, and stored the harvest in colossal warehouses. From there, barges carried the grain up the Tiber, feeding a distribution system so complex it rivaled any army's logistics. The cost was staggering. Maintaining this flow drained the imperial treasury year after year. For the state, the Annona was not generosity, but a relentless obligation, one that demanded ever more creative ways to raise revenue. In 193 AD, Septimius Severus seized power. He faced a dangerous reality. Rome's legions held the empire together, but their loyalty came at a rising cost. To secure their support, Severus doubled the annual pay of soldiers from 225 to 500 denarii. Surviving inscriptions from legionary bases record this change. This was not a one-time bonus, but a permanent leap in payroll for hundreds of thousands of men stationed from Britain to the Euphrates. Army budgets, already massive, now threatened to swallow the treasury. For the rank and file, the increase meant more coins in their purses, but the state's accountants had to find a way to cover the surge. The pressure to fund this military machine set off a chain reaction. Emperors turned to the imperial mints, searching for quick solutions to a problem that was growing faster than the empire's revenues. The consequences would soon ripple through every market and household in Rome. Inside the imperial mints, the illusion of value became a technical exercise. Early denarii, nearly pure silver, gave way to coins that looked the same but told a different story under the surface. By the early 3rd century, mint workers blended more copper into each batch, shrinking the silver content from 50% under Caracalla to barely a trace within a few decades. A new coin, the Antoninianus, arrived with the promise of double value, but held only half the silver of its predecessor. To hide the change, officials began plating coins, dipping bronze blanks in a thin bath of silver, just enough to fool the eye until the coating wore away. Laboratory tests on coins from this era reveal a silver skin no thicker than a fingernail. Numismatists point out how, as the true metal faded, so did trust. What began as a subtle shift in metallurgy soon became impossible to ignore. Shops once bustling with trade fell silent as merchants began to refuse coins that no longer held their weight in silver. In Alexandria, papyrus contracts from the 260s show traders demanding payment in pure bullion or grain, unwilling to trust the emperor's money. Wheat prices soared from a handful of denarii to thousands, putting bread out of reach for ordinary families. In Rome, crowds lined up for the Annona found the grain supply shrinking, tempers flaring into riots. Soldiers, their pay eroded to a fraction of its former value, deserted or mutinied. Across the empire, makeshift markets sprang up where people bartered cloth for oil and shoes for meat. The collapse of trust in the currency rippled through every home, every street, and every province, leaving daily life unpredictable and precarious. Rome's fortunes now flow through different channels. In 2024, tourism brings in over 13.3 billion euros, making the city's ancient stones its most valuable asset. The Vatican's Institute for Religious Works has transformed its reputation, adopting strict anti-money laundering reforms to meet global standards. The EUR district's modern towers house Italy's corporate giants, while the Club of Rome, founded here in 1968, continues to shape global debates on economic sustainability. The legacy of currency, trust, and adaptation endures in every corner of the city. Rome's collapse shows that when trust in money fails, entire societies can unravel. Financial stability isn't ancient history. It is today's challenge in every currency. What lesson do you see for us now?